Hello, Internet. It is on Malik Aaron. Welcome back to my winter 2020 box office predictions. And today we're going to be talking about The Call of the Wild. We're going to be talking about the pros and cons for The Call of the Wild. So let's get to it. Pros. Well, the movie stars Harrison Ford. You know, he's Han Solo, Indiana Jones. The man's a living legend. That we can all agree on. You know, I'm pretty sure most audiences know who he is, and I feel like his presence is going to draw in some older audiences because, well, Harrison Ford being in the movie, that's first pro. Second pro is that unlike something like, I don't know, Sonic the Hedgehog, this movie right here, although it's technically family friendly, I feel like this will lean more towards older audiences, and the older audience has kind of been ignored this year. I mean, unless you count there was 1917 and Bad Boys for Life. Other than those two, like older audiences have kind of been shut out. But this could be the movie for them. Like I can imagine some grandparents taking their grandkids to see this. Like I could see it. So yeah. Don't never count out older movie audiences because when they show up, it can be very surprising. So that's the second pro. Third pro, this movie stars a dog. Granted, it's a CGI cartoon looking dog, but it's a dog nonetheless, and people love dogs. When I see too many dogs in my life, I myself have a dog. I can see this movie attracting a bunch of dog people. And I've been playing movies, in history that featured dogs that have been very successful. I mean, look at Marley and Me. That's just a random example I just thought of at the moment. That was a huge hit. So yeah, it's clear people like to see dogs in movies. So yeah. You can tell I'm getting really desperate with my pros. Oh god. What else? I can't think of too much more. Okay, cons. I mean, sure, this movie does star Harrison Ford, the legend, but when he's not in space, or when he doesn't have a whip, his track record is extremely spotty, to say the least. I mean, I can't think of too many movies off the top of my head. I mean, sure, there was The Fugitive. That was a huge hit. But what was it? Oh, Cowboys and Aliens. Does anyone remember that movie? Starred both Harrison Ford and Daniel Craig. It was like, oh, it's James Bond and Indiana Jones in the same movie fighting aliens. Directed by Jon Favreau, dude who made the first Iron Man. How could that fail? And then it failed spectacularly back in 2011. So, yeah, he didn't help that movie. And then there was, very recently, a couple years ago, the absolute tragic failure that was Blade Runner 2049. That movie did not deserve to die. That movie deserved a lot more. I thought it was great. It's a shame more people didn't see it. But still, at the end of the day, that movie, it didn't do well. In fact, this is Harrison Ford's first major movie since Blade Runner 2049. So, yeah, like, Harrison Ford, when he's not playing iconic roles, his track record is not the best. Oh, there was Air Force One. That's another one that just popped up. But still, like, again, when he's not playing iconic characters, his track record is real hit or miss. Another con is that the dog in this movie, name is Buck. Thing about this dog is that this dog is completely CGI. It's not like, oh, some parts of the movie they have a real dog, and then when they have like a real dangerous scene where if you had a real dog doing it, your movie's gonna get protested by a bunch of animal rights groups. He's going to get a bunch of bad publicity. You never want that. I mean, look what happened to, what was it? A Dog's Journey, I think, back in 2017. No, A Dog's Purpose. Yeah, that was it. In 2017, when that footage came out, I mean, sure, eventually it was like, oh, this footage isn't, like, legit. Like, this footage has been, edited weird. But that caused a lot of bad publicity for that movie. I mean, sure, the movie still did well at the end of the day, but you never want your movie associated with abuse, ever. That is a huge no-no. And, thankfully, none of that's happened to this movie. But the big problem is that this dog is all CGI, and it looks kind of creepy. Like, his expressions are too human-like. They're not the type of expressions you would see a dog make. And it's a real turn-off for me. I can imagine it be a bit of a turn-off for some other people. Because, like, audiences have just, dealt with the disaster piece that was Cats. And then there was, Doolittle last month. I think audiences are kind of sick of CGI animals at this point. Like, we need a break from CGI animals, seriously. Because they're not been treated very well. So, yeah, like, the CGI dog could be a turnoff. It's very uncanny valley. It's just, ugh. So, that's another con. Third con is, I mean, really, if you were to ask a kid, like, hey kid, which movie would you rather see? Would you rather see a fun movie starring a blue cartoon hedgehog who runs fast, eats chili dogs, and flosses? Or would you rather see an old man go on a journey with a dog? Pretty sure most kids would say the Sonic movie, obviously. Because the Sonic movie is just way more appealing to kids. This looks... I mean, I know this is one of those, oh, it's fun for the whole family. The whole family can watch it, but this doesn't feel like a kid's movie. And what's funny is that the source material this is based off, the original novel, that has some dark stuff in it. Some very dark stuff that's obviously not family friendly, and that they decided to make a family friendly version of it. Like, that's kind of weird. So, yeah, I think, like, I feel like its audience is a bit confused. Like, it doesn't know who exactly it's targeting here. So, yeah, that's another con. And fourth con. Oh my god, the budget of this movie. Now, you're thinking, the movie's about an old man and a dog, a CGI dog, going on a quest. How expensive could it be? Oh, just you wait. I got the budget right here. I'm using my laptop to look up the budget. Okay, the budget. Where is it? Here it is. This movie cost, you ready for this? It's in the range of $125 million and $150 million. You heard that right. It's in the total cost, production-wise, is in the range of $125 to $150 million for this movie. Like, oh my god. Just for comparison, 1917 only cost like $100 million. Bad Boys for Life cost $90 million. Sonic cost $90 million. This is more expensive than all of them. Like, I know, insane, right? Clearly, a majority of that, I bet most of that money went to the CGI animals used in the movie and Harrison Ford's paycheck. I'm betting that's where most of the money went. I wouldn't be surprised. So, yeah, like, spending that type of money on a movie in February, this early in the year, is just dumb. It's really dumb. Look what happened to Doolittle, another movie that has like a live action actor with a bunch of CGI animals. That cost $175 million, became the biggest disaster of this year so far. Something could do worse than Doolittle. If that happens, I'll be amazed. But yeah, the cost of this movie is so stupid. And you think, oh, Malik, what about overseas? Well, I don't think this movie's gonna appeal so much overseas. This feels like a very American type of movie. I can't see this, translating well into other countries. So, yeah, like, I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know what their thought process was for spending this much money on this movie. And also, another con is that, yet another con, I think this is the last one, is that this movie is another one of those Fox, well, I can't say Fox anymore. Well, it was once Fox. It's another one of those Fox movies that, that was, made before Disney bought Fox, and then Disney changed the name of 20th Century Fox. They changed it to 20th Century Studios, which is going to be hard to get used to because so used to saying Fox for so long, but can't say that no more. It's annoying. But still, like, the overall track record of Fox movies in Disney's hands has been god awful. I mean, I can go name a list now. There was Dark Phoenix, there was Stuber, there was Ad Astra. Ford v Ferrari did pretty decent because they actually cared about that one. What else? Spies in Disguise did bad. Underwater did terrible. I don't think I'm missing. Oh, The Art of Racing in the Rain, which also starred a dog, albeit a real dog. That did terrible too. So yeah, like I guess you gotta throw this one in the pile too, because I really don't know how they're gonna recoup that budget. It's looking straight up impossible at this point. Yeah, I guess another little con is that we had 3 dog movies last year. None of them did very well, so I think maybe people are kind of getting tired of the dog movie. But I don't know. Weird things can happen. Like, I bet a couple years ago, people were like, "Oh, people are getting tired of these superhero movies. They're all the same." Like, I highly doubt any of these are just gonna break out randomly. And then out of nowhere, freaking, what is it? I'm trying to think of one, because there have been plenty of superhero breakouts. I guess Deadpool, Deadpool kind of changed, but Deadpool was rated R, it was kind of a game changer. Trying to think. This is hard, because there's been so many. I guess I can't think of anything where something just looks so, mundane, and then for some reason it just pops out because reasons. Like, usually it takes a special reason for a movie to do really well, but I don't know. I feel like people are just getting a little sick of dog movies. They're not as special as they once were. So, yeah. All right. Opening weekend. Now I just looked at the early numbers, and I am quite surprised at how well this movie's doing. Because if I made this a day ago, I would have been like 15 million tops. It won't make 20. But what I've seen, this movie might actually open above 20 million, which is surprising. I didn't expect that. I mean, it doesn't really help with that budget, but it's better than nothing. At least, from earlier numbers, at least it'll open higher than Doolittle, if that means anything. Oh, it'll probably make about as much in its opening weekend as Cats did in its entire run. So, yay? I don't know anymore. So opening weekend now, I'm gonna say 20 to 25 million. And then overall, probably reach 70 something million, which, for a live action family film, that's not terrible. But for a super expensive film like this, it is terrible. And I don't see this breaking even anytime soon. It probably won't start making some type of revenue until it reaches Disney Plus eventually. So, yeah. That's Call of the Wild, or The Call of the Wild, whatever. So, yeah. After that, we gotta talk about the Invisible Man and maybe Emma. I think. I don't know. Then that's the end of February. Yeah. Oh, I know. There were only two movies worth talking about the whole month: Birds of Prey and Sonic. Everything else is just an afterthought, just as I thought it was gonna be. Then after that, March is gonna happen, and March is kind of weak too. I mean, there's Onward and The Way Back. Nobody cares about The Way Back. And then Bloodshot, The Hunt. I Still Believe My Spy. A Quiet Place Part 2. My money's on A Quiet Place Part 2. I really want it to be the big hit of March because that's the one I'm excited about the most. And then Mulan. Mulan, if China doesn't. If China. Like, if the coronavirus isn't, like, I don't know, quarantined enough so that the Chinese theaters can open again, if that doesn't happen soon, then Mulan is screwed. It is screwed heavily. But we won't talk about Mulan until a couple weeks from now. So yeah, that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment. Hit the notification bell, share the video, do your thing. Want to check out some of my past predictions? I have a Winter 2020 playlist, prediction playlist on the homepage. Got Holiday 2019 playlist, box office recap playlist. Probably again, I'll probably finish. I'll probably not finish. I'll probably make my recap video sometime around spring break. So sometime before Bloodshot, The Hunt, I Still Believe in My Spy come out. So yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out.